Today in crypto, absolutely massive news for you as Jack Dorsey's Square has just announced that they have bought $50 million worth of Bitcoin. Now, this is now the second publicly traded company to pull the trigger on Bitcoin, adding it to their strategic reserves. The floodgates are about to open up in a serious way, so make sure that you have got your moon ticket ready because the days of cheap Bitcoin won't be lasting much longer if we keep on like this. My name is Lark, and this is where you subscribe for all of the hottest and all of the latest happening out here in the wild, wild land of crypto. So let's talk about the price of Bitcoin first. With all of this exciting news going on, surely we must be heading straight to the moon right now. Nope. We are still just ranging inside of that symmetrical triangle. Bitcoin, man. But let's get back to that chart for just a second here. We are just days away from a breakout on this pattern. I expect a big move when we do. The price has just been coiling up like a spring for more than 2 months right now. All that just energy is building up and it's going to pop one of these days soon. Volatility is coming. The only question is, when is it going to happen? Honestly, I would have expected more of a move on this news from Square, but the good news is that even with all of the bad news that has been flooding into the market recently, we are still maintaining our record run of daily closes above $10,000, which has now reached 74 days. This market right now, I'm just impressed. It is showing incredible strength, and you can really see the effects of the Bitcoin halving starting to come into play. Bears are in disbelief. The rocket ship is on launch pad, and we are ready to go to the moon, my friends. A big thank you to CRYPTODOTCOM for sponsoring today's episode. So the next syndicate event has now been announced. So on October 20th, you're going to have the chance to grab yourself some Elrond Network e-gold tokens at a whopping 50% discount. Now, to be eligible for this sale, you're going to have CRO tokens staked on the exchange, as well as meeting minimum trading requirements. And of course, if you have not yet got yourselves one of the most popular crypto debit cards in the industry, now is a great time to grab one. So you can start earning really generous cashback rates ranging from 2% for the Ruby Red all the way up to 8% for the top tier cards. You're also going to get so many cool extra perks by having one of these cards as well. Free Netflix, free Spotify, premium lending rates, airport lounge access, and all kinds of other goodies depending on what tier of card you get. And as a special bonus, if you sign up using the link down below in the description, then you're going to get $50 in free crypto for reserving a Ruby Red tier card or higher. So definitely check that out. Okay, so before getting into the big story of the day, let's cover some more general crypto news because there has been so much going on recently. Let's start off by talking about Ripple. So Ripple co-founder Chris Larsen has said that the company is considering moving out of the United States and that they may move to a more friendly location somewhere like Japan or Singapore or Switzerland. Now, he cited the lack of regulatory clarity as the reason for the move. Pretty obvious, I guess. Now, two things strike me here from this story. The first is, of course, US regulators definitely need to do more to have some really consistent guidelines covering the entire country to welcome the crypto industry in. It's still in so many respects in a gray zone. And the second thing is I wonder if XRP could be classified as a security, and if that's why they're considering making this move. That would be, of course, massive if it was the case, and that's just a suspicion of mine. Definitely not certain that that is going to be the case, but, you know, something that the little mouse is running around in my head here thinking about that. But there's also, of course, a reason why most crypto companies are headquartered in places like Switzerland, because those countries make it easy to do business when you're a crypto company. They actually want your business. They do everything possible to try to welcome that business in. So US is going to start losing out big time. I think it'd actually be a big loss for the US crypto scene if Ripple decides to pack shop and go somewhere else. Next up, some Polka Dot news for you. Polka Starter, the super buzzy decentralized exchange that we've been talking about here for a while on the channel. They have just partnered up with DIA, one of the new Oracle providers of this season. Now, DIA is, of course, also a very hot entry. Oracles are super hot right now, but they're going to be providing, of course, Polka Starter with reliable price feeds on-chain for their exchange, but it will also be using Polka Starter as the preferred fundraising platform for new crypto projects launched by DIA Labs. So this is a much deeper partnership than just saying, hey, yeah, use our price feeds, that's all good. Very cool to see new players like this actually teaming up and working with each other. Bullish on both DIA and Polka Starter, so awesome to see. Next up, I have some Elrond news for you. Now, Elrond has been super busy over the last few weeks. They now have a Ledger wallet integration. They teamed up with BIDAO to be used as collateral for the BI stablecoin. They released a new economics paper, which goes really into depth into what they're doing, as well as new information on staking. And they have added a new ecosystem partner called UTU, U-T-U. Now, this is a cryptocurrency company that is focused on operating in the trust economy, so on-chain trust. Now, of course, this is going to help to enable DeFi services such as peer-to-peer lending, using things like credit scores, and also really more practical day-to-day stuff like businesses or household services, which can all, again, have these trust scores built in. Now, I mentioned this partner because integrating trust into the DeFi economy, it's going to be big, just like bringing in decentralized IDs and all that stuff. Really, really important value layer to be added into the DeFi economy here. So it's great to see, again, Elrond continuing to build out their DeFi economy. I know that Elrond has been hit hard during the market correction, but I'm still holding my Elrond, and I do remain very bullish on the future of this blockchain and its ecosystem. Next up, I have some EOS news for you. So Google Cloud has joined the EOS blockchain community with the intent of becoming an EOS block producer. Wowzers, that is big. I mean, it's a damn big deal for Google to become one of the 21 block producers for EOS. Obviously, they still have to be voted in. It's not just a given that they're going to become a block producer, but if that happens, wowzers, that is definitely big. This is a high-level nod of approval, and really, I think, an indicator of the growing interest of major corporations in getting involved in the crypto economy, really overall. At this point, anyone not making some kind of crypto play for their corporation, you're gonna get left behind. Which brings us on to the final story of the day. Jack Dorsey's publicly traded company, Square, has announced that they have bought $50 million worth of Bitcoin. Massive news, absolutely massive. This is the second publicly traded company after, of course, MicroStrategy to trade some of their cash in for Bitcoin as a strategic long-term asset. Personally, I kind of had a feeling that Square was going to be the second company to do this. I'm even kind of surprised they weren't the first one to do this, but Square is number 2. And you know what? It's not going to be long before we get a third one, and then a fourth one, and then a fifth one, and on and on and on. In fact, I think that in the next few years, publicly traded companies buying and holding Bitcoin is going to become so normal, so mundane, it's not even going to make the news anymore. Like, oh, that company bought some Bitcoin, whatever, like number 50. Nobody cares anymore. And yes, more companies are going to come. I know some people are, oh, it's only those 2 companies. They're the only ones that are going to do it. That's crazy. So many companies are sitting on cash. I mean, like Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, Amazon, and Google, between the 5 of them, have around $600 billion in cash. 1% allocated to Bitcoin would be around 550,000 Bitcoin at today's prices, or approximately 25% of the entire available supply sitting on exchanges. And what if they did 2 or 3% of their cash reserves? It's not even that crazy. Scarcity is about to kick into overdrive. And that's just like the super, super big companies. How many other smaller companies are out there sitting on $1 billion in cash, 500 million, 100 million, 50 million in cash, duck loads? That's how many companies. Your chance to buy cheap Bitcoin, it's running out. It's quite simple, because here's the facts. 2 publicly traded companies now own Bitcoin. They'll be holding that Bitcoin for a very, very long time. You're also competing with hedge funds, public and private companies, of course, high net worth individuals, institutional players of all variety. And of course, it's not just the big money guys who are buying Bitcoin. Lots of people just like you and me are also coming into the market and buying Bitcoin. We just hit a new all-time high for Bitcoin addresses holding one or more Bitcoin. It's now at 823,000 addresses and some change. Meaning that we are seeing non-stop accumulation happening, and that regular people who get 1 or 2 Bitcoin, it's on the rise, and that's exciting too. The amount of Bitcoin on exchanges has been steadily falling all year, meaning that new buyers are here, they're coming in, they're scooping up coins, they're putting them into cold storage, they're not keeping them on exchanges, they're holding them for the long term. The Bitcoin hodl wave shows that 63.3% of all Bitcoin has not moved in a year or more. Demand is rising, and the amount available to buy on exchanges, it is going down. Meaning that the price is going to go up. It's just simple mathematics. Also, it's important to highlight why MicroStrategy and Square said that they bought Bitcoin. Let's look at Square's reasoning. So this is what Square said. Given the rapid evolution of cryptocurrency and unprecedented uncertainty from a macroeconomic and currency regime perspective, we believe now is the right time for us to expand our largely US dollar denominated balance sheet and make a meaningful investment in Bitcoin. That's crazy, man. That is crazy. This just says to me, companies are looking at the situation and they realize the Federal Reserve, they've lost control. No one's at the wheel anymore. Some analysts are saying that inflation will be 5 to 10% over the next few years. This represents a serious strategic threat to companies that are sitting on massive piles of cash. These companies are standing to lose ungodly sums of purchasing power every year as the currency is inflated. It's going to get to really, I think, the point of gross negligence to be so heavy into cash. And where is all that cash going to flow? Remember, only 1% going to Bitcoin is going to be game changing for the markets. I guarantee we are going to see more refugees getting into the Bitcoin life raft, which leads me on to my final point. Who the heck's selling their Bitcoin right now? Stop, guys, stop selling your Bitcoin. 2 public companies in the last 2 months bought $500 million worth of Bitcoin. There are some people who are still bearish on Bitcoin. I know, elections and the stimulus bill and COVID and, October is usually a bad month and blah, 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 blah. All that short-term stuff. None of that worries me. Zoom out. Bitcoin is going to go to the moon. We stack sats, we chill. Nothing has changed fundamentally in this game. Get your Bitcoin. Bitcoin is still the one crypto that I buy every single week, rain or shine. Just add a little bit more and a little bit more. Anyway, your question for today. What company do you think will buy Bitcoin next? Will it be a big company like Microsoft? Or it's going to be some little company that, maybe we don't all know. It's not a household name, but they've got, $500 million in cash sitting on their balance sheet and they want to get some exposure to Bitcoin. Let me know down below in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Long live the blockchain and peace out till next time.